Hey, this is Skullgirdle, and welcome to The Importance of Music in the Goth Subculture. Brought to you from my soon-to-be gone tan couch, courtesy of this guy, Pumpkin, who had a rough day. Yeah, that's my good boy. Who had a very rough day at the vet and came home with only one canine and some back molars. Whoops. My house is kind of in a little bit of chaos. Things are being reorganized. I just had a major construction thing done, I guess, with having my foundation fixed. My house was lifted over 3 inches on one side and almost all around the edge. It was incredibly expensive. The first casualty from that was the guest bath toilet, which is new now. So I have my first new toilet. Whoever thinks that they're going to say some shit like that? Whatever. But this couch, this brown hand-me-down couch, is going to be replaced with a purple velvet love seat with an attached chaise lounge on one end. I'm very excited. So I got to get rid of this damn couch before that one gets delivered, but it'll be a while because it's a custom couch, so it'll be a few weeks. Whatever. Like you guys even give a shit about that. First, I want to say that if I have come across in the past as stating that you have to listen to all goth music all the time to be goth and you can't listen to other music, I apologize. I've had someone comment that they disagreed with me on that point because they thought that I had stated that I think you have to listen to all goth music all the time, and that is not true. That could not be further from the truth. In fact, I believe the opposite, that if you only listen to goth music all the time, all goth all the time to the exclusion of everything else, it makes you a doorknob. Because being well-rounded helps with critical thinking and decision making, etc. So if you take your life down to these pinpointed things, I think you're really missing out. So while I don't think that goth is the only music you should listen to, I do believe that if you consider yourself part of the goth subculture, that listening to some goth music and appreciating goth music is a requirement. Let's talk about the differentiation between listening to and appreciating. Finding goth music is easy thanks to the internet, and there are 40 years of goth music to choose from, so there's probably something that you'll kind of like out there. Appreciation of goth music is a little bit different than just listening to goth music because it is learning some of the history and why certain acts, I guess in this case, certain bands for us and singers were important to what we have now. For instance, in college, I started out as a music major and I had to take music appreciation with a bunch of classical music. I'm sure there's somebody out there who loves all classical music, but that person is not me. I do like quite a bit of classical music, but I'll be honest, the only classical music I currently own is Mozart's Requiem. How cheesy goth is that? Learn a little bit of your history, which I'm about to help you with some of that, and appreciate it. Listen to a little bit of it. To illustrate the difference between goth sounds and how much diversity there actually is out there that some people don't really seem to understand, let's just name a few bands. In the 80s, you have Susie and the Banshees, The Cure, and Bauhaus, all of whom sound quite different to me. You have the Sex Gang Children. You have Christian Death. You have Exmal Deutschland. You have the Skeletal Family. You have, I think 45 Grave was around then. I understand. I've got death rock in there. I understand. In the mid 80s, you see more, not that they weren't around before that, Sisters of Mercy, Cocteau Twins, This Mortal Coil. Me personally, I listen to the legendary Pink Dots, Red Lorry, Yellow Lorry. Fields of the Nephilim is like more of the 90s. Oh my gosh, not Southern Death Cult, The Cult, because they were Southern Death Cult, please don't misunderstand me. The Damned, one of my favorite albums from the 80s is Anything. People are like, Phantasmagoria. I was like, okay, both. They're both great. They're both great. Please don't get upset. They're both good. When you move into the 90s, you have Fields of the Nephilim. You have, what is Onward Beneath? Faith in the Muse. I was like, Onward Beneath the Waves. Come on, that's a good album. I don't like the rest of their stuff. I just like that one album. The Shroud, the neo folk. You had The Wake. You had, oh God, was this Burning Effigy the 90s or the 2000s? I forget. You had some Black Tape for a Blue Girl. Along all of this, I don't really think they're goth, but they're accepted by goths as goth. Dead Can Dance. I mean, Dead Can Dance is kind of out on their own side there. Oh, in the 2000s, oh my God. In the 2000s, you have, I think, Blutengel. They might have started in the 90s. I'm not sure. They kind of sound EBM to me. You have Clan of Zymox still out there. You have Fields of the Nephilim still out there. The sounds change. Clan of Zymox sound changed a lot from the 80s. And then you have Mono Inc. and you have a little bit of that Gothic rock coming back in. So in the 2010s, for me personally, I love Gothic rock. So that's what I want to listen to. So you have the 2010s, you have in 2011, you have Sweet Ermengarde. How could I leave them out, y'all? Come on. And you have Then Comes Silence. Oh my God, they're so good. You have Soror Dolorosa. I feel like I said that wrong. You have Godless Procession. If you haven't listened to them, you should check them out. And you have all this different music throughout the years. I mean, there's so much shit to choose from. If you can't find any of that you like, and especially if you're like, fucking, that music is total shit, it's stupid, then maybe you don't belong in the goth subculture because you're like, fuck that music, I hate it, it's stupid, and it's not atmospheric, which you're wrong about atmospheric because that is like one of the number one things about goth music. Through what I consider casual research, my casual research, because I'm not writing bibliographies and papers, I consider there to be 3 subcultures that fit into the goth subculture. To me, it seems obvious, but then again, I love to research. I research for fun because to me, it is in fact fun. First, you have goth music, and goth music itself, it does include dark wave, cold wave. Back then, we kind of called it new wave. And Gothic rock, death rock, which definitely has its own sound and obvious, I think, roots in punk, and then cybergoth, which is goth industrial. All 3 of these genres have their own sound. Death rock has a great sense of humor. Death rock is fucking hilarious. It's wonderful. It is, fashion is over the top, very influenced by Specimen, who was very influenced by Gothic horror movies from the 60s and music acts like the New York Dolls and obviously David Bowie. David Bowie seems like a no-brainer to me, but I don't know if young people understand the importance of David Bowie and the crossing of genders, the theatricality. If you think about that, and then you think about some of the sound, it makes a lot of sense, right? Goth industrial is kind of a fusion between Gothic music, goth music. We called it Gothic back when I was young. I use goth and Gothic interchangeably, y'all. If I mean something other than the goth subculture, I'll tell you that it's Gothic blah, blah, blah. So, I just want to be clear. I try not to be bitchy. I don't mean to be bitchy. I can be bitchy. We're all bitchy sometimes, right? For goth industrial, I don't feel like I'm well versed enough to talk about the music. It's kind of one of those, I'm like, oh, that sounds, that sounds like cybergoth. Well, I can't really speak to the bands. I don't know. If I had to guess, I'd guess like KMFDM and Skinny Puppy and maybe VNV Nation. I know I need to study it, but I'll get there. I'll get there one day, maybe. I'm just not qualified to talk about it. Let's go with that. But it does fall under the goth genre because it's a fusion between industrial and goth. let's talk a little bit about Gothic metal. Gothic metal doesn't get the word Gothic from the Gothic subculture. It is metal that is more Gothic. Yes, it has some similar influences, but it derives from metal, not from post-punk, glam rock, the Batcave, the LA scene with death rock. It doesn't derive from there. It's metal that has Gothic influences, and that's why it's different. And I've heard some people call themselves metal goth, and I think they're talking about their goths that listen to metal. But if you're goth and you're part of the goth subculture, you listen to some goth music. There are goths who listen to a shit ton of metal, and that's fine. What did I just say earlier about going outside of your main genre? I think that's fantastic. I listen to a lot of Middle Eastern and Roman music. I even have a couple of klezmer albums. I have some pop albums. I don't think that you only have to listen to goth music and only do goth things to be goth. Yes, it's the thing I love the most. Yes, Gothic rock is a passion for me. I love, 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 love it. I understand that there are people who think that Gothic metal, listening to Gothic metal, makes them part of the goth scene. I am not one of those people. I personally don't listen to Gothic metal. I've heard some of it and it was pretty good. It's not that I dislike metal. I'm just, my metal days are more like Ozzy Osbourne, which if you listen to Mr. Crowley sounds a little bit Gothic to me with that horror theme. But there was also a horror theme with Black Sabbath. I mean, that goes way the fuck back. And that's not goth music. I've heard some people say that they're goth. No, they're metal. Whatever, this is not that argument. I'm very excited about the upcoming giveaway I'm doing, which is based on a band by the name of October Burns Black. But first, I'm giving away other projects by the band members. Some are concurrent and some are defunct. And some of these CDs are old collector's items. I only have 4 of them, so I can't do the giveaway yet. But we're going with NFD, Sweet Ermengarde, This Burning Effigy, Long Night, and the last one will be The Wake. And I am incredibly excited about this. These CDs are actually worth over $200 because 2 of them are collector's items. And we're waiting on the last collector's item to come. And when the actual October Burns Black comes out, and I don't have an ETA because I'm dumb and I didn't ask. Oops. Then we'll do Royal We will do a video with some giveaways from October Burns Black, which their manager Ed is actually giving me to give away. And I am super excited about that because I get excited about everything. So there you go. I also have a box. It's a mystery box to me at this point because I can't remember what all is in it, of things that I've kind of been collecting, purchased a couple. 1 or 2 things come out of my own stuff because I'm trying to reduce the amount of shit in my house. I'm always trying to do that, but now I'm more serious about it. And I have years worth of shit that people have given me, stuff I've collected myself, and I'm just trying to pare down. I have too much stuff. I don't need all this stuff. So I'm going to give you guys some stuff. But I got to get my shit together on that too because I got to go through the box and see what the fuck I have and then find other things that are supposed to go, whatever. It's all over the house. The shit is all over the house. I have a couple things in a box and I looked in there and it's missing like 3 things. So whatever. That's coming up in a week or 2. And I have other videos planned. Of course, there's more Dark and Lazy coming up. I have 4,000 ideas, and since I finally got that damn choker done, I can move forward with my life of Dark and Lazy. My house is in chaos, as I said 50,000 times. I'm busy as fuck, as we all are, because it's damn December, and there are like 79 world religions that have their major holiday in the winter, so we're all fucking busy. Some of us are busy avoiding people because we hate people. And the holidays represent that. That's not me. That's not me. I get to spend my holidays with wonderful people, so I don't have to avoid them. But I feel your pain of avoidance because I like to hide in my house too. So yeah, you get to see a little bit of my living room. Here's some more shaky cam. There's Pie sleeping. There's Toasty McGee and Mr. Cheese. And you can see I've got my little avocado, Ava, because I have a cute food fixation with those little smiley faces. We like what we like. You know what? We just fucking like what we like. I like you even though you like some stuff that I think is stupid. Hopefully you like me even though I like some stuff that you probably think is stupid. Being different is fun. So hey, thanks for watching. Until next time.